Hi everyone, and thanks for joining me again today. My name's Emma, and today's session I'm going to be talking to you about feedback. Okay, and that'll be giving feedback, say to the student that you've been working with, or even giving feedback to one of your colleagues. For some people, giving feedback can feel quite daunting. It might be that you're unsure of what you want to say or how it's going to be taken as well, how that individual is going to receive your feedback. The thing is that a lot of us are looking for feedback. We want to know how we can actually improve. And the trick here is how you can deliver it. So there's a few things that you can do. But for the purpose of this video, I'm going to use what I like to call a simple example that hopefully you can apply to, say, similar situations that you're in at work, and that will hopefully help you as well. So I thought what we'll do is we'll use the example of where you need to put a resident or a patient into a lifter, and I'll use the sling lifter for an example here, and you have a student with you, all right? You would have been working with this student, maybe you've worked with them for a couple of days already, or even if they're brand new to you. But the first thing is that you're going to explain obviously to the student that we're going to move Mr. or Mrs. so-and-so. We're going to use the sling lifter. Ask them, have they used the lifter before? Have they seen it in action? They might say to you, yes, they have, but they're not that familiar with it. If they haven't seen that lifter, they'll say that as well, but they might have seen a different type, so they'd understand the principles behind it. Now, the thing here is to prepare the student before you're going to go into the room, because you want to go in so that the resident or the patient's going to feel comfortable, but also that you feel confident that you have prepped the student so that they're going to be able to help you in there, but also that it adds to their learning as well. So talk to them about the lifter, and you can do that while you're going to go and find the lifter. It should be somewhere in the premises. And talk to them about the type of lifter, maybe the sling that you're using, why it's important to get the correct size. I don't know if you've ever gone up in a lifter, but I have, and it can feel really unnerving when you're swinging there in the breeze a little bit. So maybe tell them, give them some other hints and tips along the way. For example, as the resident or the patient is being lifted up in the lifter, just put your hand maybe just on the side here. It'll help them feel more secure. So giving them, again, that context as to why you're doing something. That's going to help give the student a really good picture before they go into the room so that they're better prepared. Now, when you're using a lifter, obviously you have another staff member with you as well, so you can have another person there. Make sure you explain to them that you have a student with you and that they're going to be helping. I said that in the past. Don't let your students stand in the corner twiddling their thumbs. It's not going to add to their development. So you'll be able to get them in. You would already know what the student's scope of practice is because you would have had a chat to them. You know what they can and what they can't do. So when you're in there and you're chatting away obviously to your resident or your patient about what's happening, the student's going to be hearing that as well and picking up on things. Get them to help you get the resident or the patient into the lifter. So talking it through, just giving some gentle instructions like roll them over to me. Oh, maybe pop your hand here. That will be a bit easier. Excellent. And then when you're getting the sling into position, making sure that it's correctly in so that that person is going to feel nice and secure. So once you've gone through the lift and you're leaving the room now, you've put the resident or the patient into, the new position, or maybe you've moved them to a chair or something. When you're leaving, you'll be walking out with the student and have a chat to them about you can ask them, how do you think you went? How did you feel about doing the lift? Find out, because they've already got things going through their head where they're thinking, yeah, that went really well, or oh dear, I'm going to have to do another one. I didn't quite get that correctly. How did you know to do that? So there's a lot of things that's going to be going through their head. And you too would have picked up on some things. You would have seen, yeah, that student did that really well, or this is an area that we need to work on as well. Okay, so you get to have that chat, but ask them how they felt they went and what they felt they did really well. And once they tell you, you can reinforce that by saying, yeah, I thought that was really good. That was excellent. I also picked up that you did this as well. Maybe they had chatted to the resident as it was going up, so they alleviated maybe some of that anxiety for the resident who's being popped up in the air. You can also ask them, so what do you think you'd like to work on for next time? Or ask them maybe where they think, oh, I didn't feel as confident in that area. You'll know what to say to them because you would have had a bit of a chat already, so you'll get a bit of feel for that person. They might turn around and they'll say, actually, I really like to work on positioning of the sling. I just felt I couldn't get it into the correct position, yet I noticed that you did it really well. You'll say, yeah. So I picked up on that too. And look, that comes with time and experience of getting the sling into position. So maybe what we could do is, we've got another resident or patient this afternoon who's going to need the lifter. We'll do it again together. I can talk you through a few more hints and tips. Okay, so you can sort of reinforce it, but you're not just saying, yes, you need to fix that, but it's saying, yeah, I agree, we need to work on that. And this is how I'm going to support you. You'll find then when you do the lift again with the student that they will remember things from the first time, and they'll also start applying some of those changes to the areas that they need to improve upon. Now that was a really, I guess, gentle feedback session there. Some of the other feedback sessions is where you might need to sit down and have a conversation with the person, but we'll leave that one till a bit later. This one is just a bit of a feedback session where you're working with the person. There's nothing alarming. Your student wanted to learn a skill and you were supporting them. Okay, does that sound pretty good? Yep. So let's recap it with the feedback. You would have prepared the student beforehand going into the room to do the lift. You would have talked them through, found out what they've been doing, what they might feel comfortable with. You've gotten them involved, you've guided them and offered them that support. And then afterwards, you've asked them how they felt they went. Okay, reinforcing, yeah, that was really good. You also did this as well. Then asking them, where would you like to improve? They identify the areas of improvement. And that's really good because if you want them to improve, they need to identify it, but also acknowledge and own it as well. You've then reinforced it by saying, yep, I think you could work on that area too. Here's some hints and tips. Let's do another one. I'll be there to support you. They're going to feel more comfortable and confident as well, so that the next time they perform the lift, they'll know that with your support, they're going to be able to do it. They'll feel better going into the space. Sound good? Okay, let's leave it for there and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.